The moment you stop making men the sun, your entire world orbits around. Everything in your life starts to shift. The air feels lighter, your mornings feel calmer, and for the first time in a long time, your decisions stop being filtered through the question, "But what will he think?" You start asking, "But what do I think?" And that, right there, is when your entire reality begins to change. Most women don't even realize how much of their identity has been quietly shaped around the idea of male approval. It starts small. You're picking an outfit, and in the back of your mind, you're imagining the reaction of some man. You post something online, and you're aware of which men might see it. You walk into a room, and your brain subconsciously scans for who might be attracted to you, or worse, who might not. That's how deep the programming runs. Until one day, you decide you're not doing it anymore. And when you decenter men, I'm not talking about cutting every man off or swearing them away like they're poison. This is about removing the pedestal, taking them off center stage, and reclaiming that spotlight for yourself. You become the main event in your own life. Think about it. If a stage has one spotlight, and that light has been pointed at a man your whole life, what happens when you swing it towards yourself? At first, it's almost blinding. You're not used to it. You're not used to asking yourself what you want without thinking about what he wants. And that's why so many women feel uncomfortable when they first decenter men. It's new territory. But oh, is it powerful? When you decenter men, your choices start aligning with your real desires, not your fears. You stop wearing shoes that destroy your feet just because they make your legs look a certain way. You stop agreeing to dates, favors, or conversations that drain you just because you don't want to seem rude. You start building a life where your joy doesn't hinge on whether a man texted you back. And here's the truth nobody says out loud. The women who thrive the most aren't the ones who have the most male attention. They're the ones who no longer need it. I know women who are glowing in their peace, not because their phone is blowing up with compliments, but because they've built lives so full and so rich that they can't even remember the last time they cared if someone approved of them. On the flip side, I know women who center men so much that every high is temporary and every low is devastating. If he's happy, they're happy. If he's cold, they're destroyed. That is emotional captivity, and it will keep you stuck for years. Let me give you a real example. A friend of mine used to check her phone first thing every morning, not to see the news, not to plan her day, but to see if he had texted. If he hadn't, her mood tanked before she even brushed her teeth. She lived in this cycle for years. Then she hit a point where she couldn't do it anymore. She started pouring that energy into her art, into friendships, into fitness. A year later, she looked me dead in the eye and said, "I didn't realize how small my life had become until I made it big again." And that's what decentering men does. It expands your life. When you decenter men, you also stop playing the unpaid role of therapist, mother, cheerleader, and crisis manager for someone who refuses to take accountability for his own growth. You start realizing that you are not a rehab center for broken men. You are not an emotional dumping ground. You are not a consolation prize or a backup plan. Your time, your mind, your body, and your heart are valuable real estate, and you stop giving out free leases to people who bring nothing but chaos. You stop measuring your worth by who's looking at you, who's texting you, who's choosing you. Instead, you start measuring your worth by how you choose yourself every single day. Once you decenter men, you discover you have time and space for things you forgot you loved. You pick up hobbies, not because they make you interesting to date, but because they make you alive. You invest in friendships with women who inspire you. You build skills, travel, learn new things. You dress in ways that make you smile, not in ways that will get a nod from across the room. You begin to look in the mirror and see a woman you respect. And when you respect yourself, you stop letting anyone treat you like you're disposable. And here's the twist. When you decenter men, the men who are actually worth your time are the ones who notice. They see that you have a life, standards, and boundaries, and they respect you more for it. But by that point, here's the kicker. You're no longer sitting around waiting for that respect to arrive. You already have it, from yourself. And that's what changes the game. Because when your happiness no longer hangs in the balance of someone else's attention, you become unstoppable. So no, decentering men isn't about hating them or avoiding them. It's about loving yourself so much that you will never again hand over the keys to your life just to keep someone else comfortable. It's about making sure the loudest voice in your head is your own. And once you do that, you'll look back on the version of you that once begged, bent, and broke herself to keep a man interested, and you won't even recognize her.